Good day, everybody. This is just a short presentation on the laboratory software called Proton LIS. This is the login interface, and we have some menus here for the user guide, suggestion box. You can see the suggestion box here, and then a link to reset your password. All your menu links are in this side nav bar. So I'm going to log in as a receptionist. So I'm logged in now as a receptionist. Since I'm a receptionist, there are a few links I should be able to access on the software, like register a new client, update client details, make a request for a lab, view the lab bills and the radiology bills, and then view the lab price list and the radiology price list as well. So I'm going to register a new client on the system. We'll just do test patient 1. The surname will be patient 1, maybe a male. I'll leave some of the fields blank for now. And then we submit. So it's asking for some details. I'm just going to put in a dummy phone number here. And our patient is registered. So since our patient is registered, I can make a lab request for the patient by clicking on make a lab request over here. So now I select from the labs that we have on the system. So I'm going to select FBC liver function test, malaria test, 2RE, and then sickling. So these are the tests I've selected for the patient. And the patient may have to pay first before they go to the lab, to the lab scientist. So I'll click on laboratory bills over here. And these are the patients that have attended the clinic today. So I can click on see bill, and I'll be able to see the patient's bill. The total bill is 91 cedis. So I click on receive payment. And I can enter the amount I'm receiving over here. And then I click on submit. So once I click on submit, the receipt is generated, and that's the details of the receipt you can see on the screen. So having paid now, I'm going to log in as a lab scientist so that I can view the labs that have been requested and then submit the results after running the tests. So let me log out here and log in as a lab scientist. So with the lab scientist, the menu is different, as you can see. So they have a link to view lab requests, the link for the sample taking, the link for editing labs, the link to print lab results. There's also a link to view pending or completed lab tests so that once the lab scientist moves or goes off duty and another scientist comes, he can see which labs are pending on the system. Then they have the user guide and the suggestion box, and then a link to reset their password. So So as a lab scientist, I'm going to click on view lab requests, and it shows me I'm able to select based on the date that I want to see the requests that were made, or it also shows me a link with all the patients who have attended the lab today. It also shows me a link to all the patients who have attended the lab today. So since our first patient is this, I can click on view lab requests and I can see the labs that have been requested: FBC, liver function test, MP, stool array, and then sickling test. The pathology number is also there, and that's the ID, the request IDs for each of the requests that were made. For some labs, they would want to accept the lab or not accept the lab. So in this case, we would accept all the labs. And then once we accept the lab, it opens up for us to be able to take the sample. So we click on the sample taking section. And then we can select the time we took the sample, the specimen type, and then some remarks. And the specimen type would be blood. And then if we have some remarks, we would select it. So since we've taken the sample, it shows us taken already. And if there was a mistake, we would be able to click on edit to edit it. So I'll go ahead and do the rest, and then we'll continue from there. As you can see, if I go back to edit, we are able to see that the system automatically enters the person who took the sample. So you are not going to enter your name or anything. The system automatically enters the logged in user. So having taken the sample, we can go and enter the lab results, or if your lab machine is able to connect directly to the LIS, we would configure it so that it just picks up the results directly. So let me just enter a few of the labs so that we have some. So this patient has all these labs to be done. Let me enter just the FBC, the HB. Let's say the HB is 12. And then all the other parameters are there. You need to mark it. When you are done, you can mark the lab as done, completed, and then you can verify the lab if you are authorized to verify. Okay. Then after doing all the labs, of course, you may want to print the lab results. So you come to print lab results. You can search for the patient you are looking for. And the name will show here, or you can use the date to find which patients has been seen for that day. So since we are dealing with this patient, I'll go there, and this shows us all the attendances, and then we click on the attendance we want, and we can see this. So I can print the FBC results, which will give us this PDF for printing. You remember I entered the HB of 12, so that's it. The system can also give the normal ranges based on what you have configured in your machine. We can also print the LFT results, as you can see here, and you can print them individually, or you can decide to click on print all. So if you click on print all, it's going to generate the PDF, which has been generated here. So I'm going to open that PDF up. And here we have our lab results. So we have this for the FBC. The next one is for the LFT. The next one is for the MPs. This is for the stool RE, and then this is for the sickling test. Okay. So having done this as the lab scientist, we are done with the patient. There are also a few reports that the system can generate. So I'm going to log out as a lab scientist and log in as a super user. And once I'm logged in as a super user, I have access to a lot more things in the panel here. So I can look at the reports. The lab attendance reports is here. I can just select by the date I want, and I'll see all the people who have attended clinic or have attended our lab within a particular date range. So with the date I selected, nobody has come, but that's just an example. Then we can also look at the revenue reports. So based on the date, we can see the total cash we've received for the day. And also you can select per the cashier, as well as per the department, if it's just the laboratory or the radiology section as well. So depending on what you select, that's what you get here. So for radiology, I have 1,200 Ghana cedis, but for laboratory, the amount is this. If you leave a field blank, it means that the system will not filter with that field, like the date. So here in this case, I just want to know without the date, but most of the time we'll select a date range and use that. So let me go a bit backward here and then use today's date here. And then we select again and it will show us. Let me use another user. And this user has not received any cash. Okay. Then we can also look at the lab tests per lab test. So I can decide to find out how much revenue we are making from FBC alone, maybe from the beginning of the year, January, till now. We are in August. How much we are making from FBC alone. So I haven't requested anything on my system now for FBC. Okay. Then I can update taxes that are associated with a particular lab test. I can also view which taxes are being added to my lab test, for instance, VAT, NHIL levy, COVID levy, and all that. You can update them in your system. That is if taxes are applied to your prices. And then you can update your laboratory prices here, or the radiology prices here. And then when you use the cash out, you want to know how much cash has been made on a particular day. Thank you.